Okay, hello everyone, it's me, it's your boy Swaggo. Sorry for not uploading in about a century. I just, was on holiday for a bit, but also I didn't really know what to upload, so my apologies on that part. But I am back and I am already on the move to record a video. And what's this video going to be about? Well, it's going to be about my holiday. I'm going to give a little bit of story time, and then I've got some gameplay in the background. Let me know if you want to see more horror. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'll get back into it. Depends on what you guys think. But yeah, like, comment, sub. Tell me if you want more horror or some different kind of content. This is going to be a little bit different from what I usually do because it's kind of story time based. It's more like based on IRL stuff. And I kind of wanted to talk about it because it was a very interesting holiday. Probably one of the craziest ones I've ever had, to be honest. And yeah, we will dive right in. So for those who don't know, I went to Slovenia. Literally, I was there yesterday for 1 week, and it was a hell of a time. I went with two buddies of mine, Lakaka and Sir Shaunus the First. But yeah, we'll dive into what each day was like. I was there for about, I want to say 8 days. The first day was about a half day, and the last day was pretty much a full day. We'll say like 7-8 days. But anyway, day one, we arrive at Ljubljana Airport, which is the main sort of airport of Slovenia. It's a pretty small airport, to be fair. There's not much really you can explore, which was, I guess, a nice kind of difference from, the typical London airports, which are super massive and like hella confusing. So it was a little bit refreshing to see a smaller airport that wasn't so confusing. For those who don't know, also, when you drive in Slovenia, you drive on the right side of the road. So if you're coming from the UK or any country that's driving on the left, you'll have to adjust to driving on the right. And we kind of had to get used to that a little bit. I was not the driver for the entire week, don't have my license, but the Lakaka, my buddy of mine, he drove us around for the entire week, and I want to say he did a fine job. He got us safely there in the end. But let's talk about kind of what happened day one. Day one, I actually almost got sick. I don't know if it's because I was adjusting to the heat or the car for the first time, but I literally, on the first drive, we were there for like an hour or two, I almost got sick and I almost barfed in the car. But thankfully I didn't. For those who don't know about motion sickness, there is tech where you can reduce the ability for you to vomit. And one way is by opening the windows a lot, making sure the wind and fresh air comes into the car so that you feel sleepy and you feel cold. Those are two things that help you feel less sick and get that sickness feeling out. Otherwise, you get a plastic bag and you just let it rip. But I didn't do that, thankfully. I didn't vomit the entire trip, so I think I was good. It was just me adjusting to the country and the car. But also, we did a shit ton of roundabouts coming out of the airport. There's like 4 kind of mini roundabouts that you can take when you're heading into the main town of Ljubljana, and those really get you. If you have motion sickness, that's gonna kick in a lot, especially with the heat and like the heat wave happening in Europe as well. It's tough. But anyway, we get to the first Airbnb. It's pretty cozy, I would say. My friends personally don't like it. I personally think it's pretty cool. It's a fairly spacious Airbnb. It's quite big. It's got like a main area where you've got like the kitchen that's connected to the lounge, and then you've got the different rooms that separate. In all of the trips, in all of the Airbnbs that I stayed in with my pals, I took the biggest sort of master bedroom area, and then them two slept together. God damn it, boys. Y'all are gay shit. No, I'm just kidding. It's just the way the beds were set up. And I preferred to do it alone, so I would take the biggest and loneliest bedroom for myself. But the rooms were alright. The first Airbnb, I want to say, was probably one of the best ones and one of the ones that I actually kind of enjoyed the most in terms of like how it looked. It looked very modern, it had a nice like black and white tone to it. It was just a nice Airbnb personally for me. This was located in the city. The first Airbnb we had was located in Ljubljana somewhere. I don't know the exact address or anything like that, but it was in the city. And adjusting to the city was pretty interesting. Obviously, the main city doesn't really have too many... I don't even know what the aesthetic is called. It's got lots of rocky... There's a certain aesthetic that the main city has, and the architecture is also quite interesting. If you ever go to Slovenia and you explore the main city of Ljubljana, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. It's a very nice way to adjust from living in London all the time and then exploring a city that you've never seen before. It's honestly quite chill. I'm pretty sure Slovenia has one of the lowest crime rates out there, and it literally has no litter. Like, it's crazy. They have bins set up not very far away as well, and there's like no paper on the floor, there's no gum, there's no like tissues, none of that. No packets of food, nothing. No cans, it's all in the bins. These people like to keep their city very clean, so mad respects for that. In terms of how the English was spoken there, it was fairly mixed. You know, some of the people there could speak English, and then sometimes you'd have people that just couldn't. So it's very 50-50. In the more touristy areas that you would go to, though, there would be people that could speak English. So if you ever go to the touristy area, the people will speak English pretty normally. But if you go to those sort of countryside areas where it's like a small village, it may be a little bit harder, or they might understand a few words, but that's pretty much it. Anything else to talk about day one? Well, we pretty much just explored the city for the first day, and that was the only day that we managed to do that because we only stayed in the city for one day. All the main activities we wanted to do, we would be staying at the other Airbnbs where we'd go to the different hiking spots in the mountains, the different rivers and lakes that were located, obviously like Lake Bled. And that was all specifically reserved for the other Airbnbs that had better access to those specific areas. So that was pretty much day one. Day 2, 3, and 4, I believe, is where we stayed at the second Airbnb, which was located in some village, some small town, somewhere, some kilometer away from the city. I don't know. It's pretty far from. It's like a, I think, 1 hour drive, maybe 45-minute drive from the main city, and it's about 30 minutes away from Lake Bled. That was where the second Airbnb was located. Big ups to Hofer, I think that's what it's called. It's the equivalent of, I think, Aldi or Lidl. I think Hofer is the Slovenian translation for one of those two. I think it's Aldi. Hofer is Aldi in Slovenia. So if you ever explore and you see Hofer, that's the Aldi we know and love. Anyway, day 2. Obviously, we explored the Airbnb. It was a little cozy. I can't lie. It was smaller than the first Airbnb. I'm not sure if I've got photos of it. But yes, day 2. Day 2 was where we explored. I don't know what the lake is called. It's not Behinge and it's not Bled. It's like I forget the name of the lake, man. It's like near some mountainy areas. But there's a bunch of rivers that connect to these two separated lakes. And what we did was we went over across the lake and we went over to the rivers. Let me skip to the next video. These rivers were cold as fuck. Like, well, I'm pretty sure the reason why they're cold is because of like glacial water, because it comes from the mountains, and at the peak of the mountains there's a lot of snow and ice and stuff like that, so that's probably why it's so cold. But we crossed across like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different rivers, trying to kind of get as close to the mountain as we possibly could. And it was interesting, you know, it was super rocky as well. I was crossing in my slippers, and my right slipper right now I'm wearing is completely damaged and torn. So if I had gone in with Air Forces, they would be absolutely fucked. But thankfully I didn't, because I was aware that they would... The rocks in Slovenia are absolutely crazy. Anytime you go to the beach, you go to the rivers, you go to the lakes, the rocks are super deadly, man. And these rivers as well, they had such a strong current that it would like push you back as you try to cross. So it was cold, had a strong current, and there was rocks. There was so many rocks. So it was just absolutely horrible for the shoes when we were crossing. But we did manage to get some banging photos. I'm not sure if I'll show them. But yeah, we did manage to get a few nice shots there. Caught a few mountains in the background as well. Hit some nice poses, caught some... By the way, I'm the group photographer in literally everyone's Instagram, and I must say I took some absolutely banging shots of the squad, and we hit some nice poses, and then we explored the lake that was kind of there. And I was the cook for day two. What did we do? Day one we went to a restaurant. Day two I was the designated cook for dinner. And I was stressed the fuck out because I was literally, I never cooked. I never cooked. The only thing I know how to cook is eggs, and I usually fuck those up as well. So becoming a home cook for these two other idiots is stressful. A, because I don't want to poison anyone, and B, because I don't want food to taste shit because I would feel bad. And I want to actually try and make something good. So as a group, we decided we would have pasta. And I was, you know, trying to figure out what ingredients we need. I think cheese, milk, some seasoning, salt and pepper, and then flour. Because I wanted to make like a roux. There's a few TikToks on how to do that. And yeah, I was in the kitchen for literally like 3 hours because the water wouldn't fucking boil on these induction stoves. Oh my god, it took me like 30 minutes how to figure out how to use an induction stove. And then it took 30 minutes to boil some water. I don't know how that was possible. But as the dice was rolling and as the time was moving, we actually managed to cook up something pretty damn exquisite. I may show some photos if I got them of this pretty basic ass pasta dish that I made. It's just pasta. You got a flour roux that you mix with butter, I think, and then you add in like milk, cheese, your seasonings, and that's pretty much it. Didn't really have at the time when we were buying the ingredients, it was very late at night and all the other shops were closed, so we had to look at these small local shops that also didn't have much in stock as well. So I couldn't have any like meat, I couldn't add bacon or anything like that. It was just literally plain pasta. So with that, what is it bechamel sauce? No, it's not bechamel. It's some kind of roux based sauce. But to all the Italians watching, please tell me if I did a shit job, because I probably did. But that was day 2 of this Slov. I don't know if it was on day 2 or if it was on day 3, but at some point the car broke down. Our driver didn't drive exceptionally well at some turn, and we busted our tire, and we also scratched a little bit of the rim. The total damage we found out after, on the very last day, how much everything was 1,200, I think 1,200 euros, which was covered by our insurance, so we didn't have to pay anything. But 1,200 euros for a fucking rim scratch and a pop tire that got replaced, by the way, like a day after. And that being 1,200 euros is a bit insane. I think they were trying to steal some money off us because we were tourists. Anyway, we had to take the bus to get to Lake Bled so that we could collect our car and explore the lake. The car issue was dealt with. I had some photos of myself in the car, in the bus, sorry. And we kind of just explored around the lake. This was in Lake Bled. We just went around kind of exploring everywhere. The center island we didn't go onto. I think you had to buy a boat, and then you could row that boat over to the lake, or I think you can get like a little taxi thing over as well. We didn't go into the center lake, it's kind of pointless. took some shots, and I think we also did some paddling or rowing. I don't know what it's called. But, like, you have one guy on the little boat, and then you can like go on your knees and row. Did a little bit of that. Can't lie, I was shit. Didn't travel far, didn't know how to row, so I was a bit trash. But on the later days, I actually figured out how to row, and I was pretty good. The meal for the day was actually pretty nice. For Dindins, the other pal, I was no longer the cook for the day. We swapped over every single day, and you know, we had some frozen oven baked potato wedges, which tasted actually pretty good. And then the pal of mine made a burger with a shit ton of paprika. This chicken, god damn it, thankfully we added honey to sort of balance the paprika out, but god damn, that flipping chicken was crazy before we added honey and like barbecue and stuff to it. It was unbelievably spicy. One of them two messed up the seasonings. I don't know who it was, but god damn it. Thankfully we added honey to balance it, but it was an interesting time. The food was actually quite good. Unfortunately, we had like a funny moment happen in the kitchen sometime, and I don't know, like one of us was laughing and we had like someone had milk in their mouth and it spilled everywhere, and it was just grim and disgusting, but it was a good time. We threw away that food, by the way. We didn't, everything that we made we threw away because we wanted to try something new every day, and it was just a shit ton of ingredients. Took some good night shots. Oh my god, like I took some banging photography shots in this trip. That's why I'm called the camera guy. Send me up a camera if you can, guys. I will take banging pictures of you. Boom, that was day 3. The day 4 time. Still staying at that Airbnb, I think, and we went ziplining for the day. And I think we also went to Lake Bohinj, which is the other lake that you can go to that's quite big. You can do more of that rowing stuff if you want to like kind of go deeper in the lake. But the ziplining first time, can't lie, I was scared. I was saying, you know, Final Destination moments to my friends. I was saying, guys, we might have like a 5% chance we die. And I actually went first on the first zipline. I was like, fuck it, you know what? I went first on the instruction guide where you sort of show each other how you zipline. I went first on that, and then I went first on the main zipline. So I was just like, fuck it, if I die, we ball. But I got on the zipline, I was like, woo, I celebrated. And yeah, the views were actually stunning. I didn't bring my camera with me on my hand because I was afraid I would drop it. The zipline are like actually quite long, and you get a lot of wind and like frost coming towards you. So I was afraid I was going to drop my phone and mess up anyway. I didn't have a GoPro or head cam or any of that stuff as well, so I was just mainly doing it for the experience. But in case you're wondering which zipline we went to, it's the one near Lake Bled. I don't know the name of the area, but the one near Lake Bled. There's 7 different zip lines you can go to. I think the second or the third one is the longest, which is 750 meters. And yeah, it was a great experience. For someone who has never gone ziplining before, absolutely would recommend. Just follow what the guys are telling you. Listen to their instructions at all times. Let them do their harnesses for you. They will double check everything is secured and safe for you. So just listen to them. Don't try and do anything silly by yourself. Don't do any crazy spins and shit. Just listen to what they're saying and you will be safe. And that's how I felt. So pretty good ziplining experience. Would recommend 100%. I think it set us back around 90 something euros. So a little pricey, but I'd say the experience is worth it. I think we went also on the I forget what it's called, the Bahogin flip. The little cart that you can race down the mountain and like you do a little bit of twirls and stuff like that. We went on that. It was fun, but man, the queue for there was just too long, I swear. Way too long, in my personal opinion. but the experience was right. That one wasn't too pricey. I think that was like 12 euros anyway, so if you want to, you can experience that for yourself. Might have a few photos there. Skip next video. Did some more rafting as well in Lake Behinge. Went up to some carts. Oh, and we did also go up a mountain to see a waterfall. I can't remember the exact names of everything, guys. I'm sorry. But man, it was a trek up to that blood clot mountain. We had to take a few tactical breaks to recover our stamina, but we did take some banging shots. I think we also have a few pictures. I have so many sick pictures of everything. I personally think this was probably the best day. Day 4 of Slovenia was my best day. Slovenia day 5. I think this is when we moved to the next Airbnb, which was... It was similar to the first Airbnb, where it was big. But man, I have so many problems with that flipping kitchen. I literally wanted to take a shit on that kitchen. That's how bad it was. And it's such a bad experience. I don't want to talk about it. Also, I did take a few mosquito bites during my whole trip, specifically in the second Airbnb. I don't know, like in the first Airbnb and the last Airbnb, there was just flies. But the second one, man, there was like 3 mosquitoes chilling in my room. And I don't know if it's because I taste good or something, but they just kept sucking me dry. So just be careful wherever you live. Watch out for those mosquitoes and try and kill them with your flippers. Day 5, we ventured into, I think it's called what's the gorge called? Behinza Gorge? I can't remember the name, guys. I'm so sorry. It's basically like a massive ass river, and then you can like go on to this little bit of wooden steps that are on the side of the mountain, and you just run across or walk across that and like take photos and stuff like that. And it tracks for quite a while. So we went along there, took some nice little photos. There was like a little snack bar as well, there's a little snack bar as well, and we just, you know, had a few drinks and stuff like that. What they don't tell you about any of these hiking expeditions and these little, you know, oh, come explore these like sick mountains and, you know, experience the waterfalls. God damn it. Is they don't tell you what the hike back is like and, you know, how long it takes for you to get back. Getting back from that place, the gorge, took literally an hour because so when we got there, we had to take a bus to get into the gorge. But God damn it, why is my cat flipping doing this, bro? But going back out, you couldn't take a bus. There was no coach or bus waiting for you to taxi you out. You had to walk back, and you had to take such a long way around. The sun was cooking, there was no shade. It was horrible. So just keep in mind you've got like some sort of hat or something like that to like keep you cool, and make sure you got lots of sunscreen on, because the amount of shade you get is minimal and the amount of sun you get is deadly. So I had to cover myself with my like jacket at the time to not burn. And I also I think the third Airbnb though, to be fair, had very limited light pollution. I was trying to show some photos of this sort of night shots I got. Even though we can't really see the Milky Way, the fact that I was able to capture the stars on my iPhone 17 is crazy, and I will be saving these for future reference, because we don't really get night skies like this in the UK because of the light pollution. So that's the only thing I'll give credit for that third Airbnb, is the limited night pollution. Day 6 of the Airbnb is we went to the beach. It was about a 2.5 hour drive to get to the beach from the third Airbnb, and it wasn't actually too bad. We did a shit ton of jumping off like this little porch, and I mean, it was cool. It was good. It was very hot though. I mean, the amount of it's not good when it's like a hot day, but Jesus, it was humid as hell. It was like 30 something degrees, I think. It's just horrible. But that was pretty much it for the third day. Sorry, that was pretty much it for the 6th day. We just kind of went along the beach, checked a few restaurants out and shops out, and then just kind of went home. We just stayed at the beach for a very long time. And for the very last day, day 7 of our little trip, we had to leave the Airbnb, left all the stuff in the car, and we really didn't do too much. We did all the main activities we could. My feet were cooked. No one wanted to go like do hiking and stuff. We also didn't want to do too much driving as well, because we needed to bring the rent-a-car out back with lots of fuel. So we don't want to spend too much of it, because obviously fuel is still pretty pricey in different countries. So we want to make sure we were all good there. So we pretty much just stayed at like Lake Behinge. There's like a few little bars and little hot spots that you can chill out on, and kind of just sat there for a bit, chilled. And then one of us had the idea, hey, why don't we take a scenic route up the mountains? You know, we'll have a little bit of fuel left. And it will be short. Guys, this was probably one of the days where I almost thought I died. It wasn't from ziplining or anything like that. It was us deciding to take the scenic route up the mountain, which, in case you don't, I don't know what the mountain is called. It's in Lake Behinge, and it takes about 30 minutes to get up there. It is so goddamn steep, and so that there's no barriers that. Where there should be barriers, there's no barriers when you go up the mountain on the car. So we had to take it extra slow. Thankfully, there was no one coming back from the mountain. If there was, we would have to like give way and all that shit, and that was way too stressful to work on. So we kind of prayed and hoped that that would never happen. Eventually, as we got to the top of the mountain, well, we found that there was like a sign that said basically construction in progress or something like that, something along those lines. Like, I was guessing that the road was not built yet, but we still decided to push forwards for some reason. We were like, fuck it, we ball. And then we got there, and I was correct. There was no road. It was just like a dirt path, and we were not feeling whatever this mountain was, because it took too long to get up. It was too sketchy, and I didn't want to die. So we all agreed to go back. But because the road was so narrow, we have the driver. I told him every time, you know, to boost his positivity, we have the driver, you know. And we reversed back, I swear to God, we reversed back like 300, 400 meters. And because the road was so narrow, and we met this like this couple, biker couple, who were just cycling up the mountain, I think. And we spoke to them for a bit, and that they were saying, are we reversing back all the way? And we said, yeah, because there was literally no point where we could turn and do like a 5-point turn or anything like that. It was just too narrow. But eventually, with our combined might, we managed to find a point where we could do the 3-point turns, and we got the hell out of that mountain as safely as possible. And yeah, that was pretty much that for day 7, and we almost died, so there's not much to say there. But after that, we pretty much went to the airport. Oh, and we bought some souvenirs as well. I smuggled some alcohol into the country, and yeah, life was good. We got to fly back pretty much safely. I think our left window was cracked a bit, but that's, I don't know, probably the third near-death experience. Cracked window at British Airways plane, the A380. So just be careful when you're on that plane. Otherwise, it was pretty good. We came back around, so I think Slovenia has like a 1-hour delay. Well, Slovenia is 1 hour ahead, sorry. So we came back UK time around 12 midnight, and I got home around 1:30, 2 o'clock. So yeah, got some gifts for the family, and it was a pretty good damn experience. If you ever want to see like some photos or anything like that in more detail, check out my Instagram. I have a bunch of the different days that I spent in Slovenia, in terms of the photos and the different videos and stuff like that. So if you ever want to check that out, feel free to check out my Instagram. Otherwise, that was pretty much it for Slovenia. I hope that story was very interesting. I don't know if I want to call this video rags to riches to riches to rags to riches, or if I should call it escape from Slovenia. We had a few moments where like we went into Austria on accident as well. That was crazy. We had like this lady say caravan. We didn't know what the fuck she was talking about, and we just paid her some money, and then we went into Austria by accident, so we had to turn around and go back into Slovenia. That was crazy. But yeah, man, it was a fun journey. It was a good time, and I can't wait to do another lads holiday. This was my first lads holiday experience, and I 100% recommend anyone else to go on such a similar experience with their boys to a different country. It is a good time, and I definitely had one of those good times as well, so 100% would recommend. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys love the story time videos, feel free to like, comment, and sub. And maybe if you want to see something different, maybe you want to see me do like reaction-based videos or more storytime videos, I would be down to do those. Of course, just let me know, and I will be the first to respond. Of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace and love, baby.